To everyone, hello and welcome. Thank you for taking some time to attend our webinar. Today we'll be going over BOLDBuild 2.2 module, showing you the latest and greatest with our end-to-end construction solution. All right, so let's get to that next slide. My name is Nick. I'm a sales executive here at AlphaBOLD, and I am joined by Tayyab Ali, who is our VP of Consulting, and Mahmoud Tanash, our Principal Consultant. And we will start by going over what we're going to be doing today. Today we'll be going over the industry challenges within the construction industry, take a look at how BOLDBuild can solve those challenges. After that, we'll dive right into what BOLDBuild is and then some of the benefits you'll see from it, and then into a demo after that. Finally, we'll finish up with some questions and look at how you can get your hands on a demo of BOLDBuild. And just a reminder, if you do have any questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to enter them in the chat and we'll stop periodically so we can answer those. So let's see, right off the bat, I want to touch on a costly issue in the construction industry, and that is missed schedules. They cost the industry about $165 billion a year, and that's 17% of the total spend in the construction industry. So let's break that down. If you take the percentage of the projects that will miss original schedules and apply that to the total spend in the construction industry, you get $730 billion spent due to missed schedules. Then apply that percent of contract value delivered late, and you get roughly $75 billion that's incurred past the original completion date. We can apply that to the average amount of dedicated labor to find out that $20 billion are spent on labor after deadlines. If we add in the $75 billion in project deadlines could have been kept, we see that our opportunity cost due to missed deadlines is $95 billion. Tack on the $75 billion in liquidated damages due to these delays, and we see ourselves at that $165 billion mark. So let's take a look at where we see those delays happening. First off, you'll see document management is a big contributor. 50% of contractors fail to capture and review data consistently, which leads to 35% of their time hunting down project information. Not only that, but 30% of data during the design and construction phases is lost by project closeout. With BOLDBuild, all your information is in one place and stays with the project from start to finish. Project tracking is the next common issue, showing that only 42% of project managers update schedules daily or weekly, and of that 42%, 20% update the schedules within 1 to 2 days of becoming aware of a change. Without real-time notifications and data, projects can easily become severely delayed, with different teams being stalled out at various phases, again, leading to those missed deadlines. Collaboration is another area for improvement. You see that 82% of owners feel they need more collaborations with their contractors. With BOLDBuild, you can set reminders to contact people and send emails and documents right from the app. Then in the field, only 18% of firms reported using mobile apps to access project data to collaborate. BOLDBuild is mobile friendly, allowing you to access that information anywhere, anytime. Then in regards to change orders, only 30% of them are actually collected and documented. A big cause for these change orders comes from poor project data and miscommunication. Without real-time tracking of change orders, it's easy to lose track of your budgets versus actuals. As you'll see, BOLDBuild allows you to easily track the change orders against original budgets and make the necessary adjustments to keep your project on track, or as close to it as possible. As for labor productivity, 73% of contractors report medium or high impact on productivity of workers due to double entry of data. BOLDBuild keeps all the data in one place, and as Tayyab and Mahmoud will show you, tracks that data with the project from start to finish. No chances for double entry, therefore eliminating chances for errors and time wasted. Surveys have found that the #1 reason for reduced productivity is a lack of communication and collaboration between project teams. This is something BOLDBuild can easily step in and solve as it integrates with all departments to one source. All right, so let's get into the meat of the webinar. But before I hand it off to Tayyab, please remember you can enter your questions into the chat at any time and we will stop to answer those. So Tayyab, take it away.
Thank you so much, Nick. I'll definitely try to show them on how BOLDBuild can solve some of the challenges that you highlighted. But before we do that, so overall, I'll touch upon the pain points in a bit more detail, specific to the functional areas. Then we'll talk about the benefits, the demonstration, and have a nice Q&A session with you guys. So with that, if we focus primarily on the functional areas, on the sales side, we see that there are way too many tools that the sales team is using in the construction or the AEC industry. And you can see here that 59% of sellers believe that they have just way too much going on. These are disparate systems, which means that they are not connected, which also means that they have to make double entries of information. 50% of the sales team feels that they do not know exactly what's the flow of the information. So you can imagine onboarding is difficult. You can imagine that following a consistent, cohesive process is absolutely impossible. One, because these systems are disconnected. Two, because even when they are within a system, it doesn't have a cohesive flow. And 64% of the time is actually being spent on non-selling activities by the sales team. If you add it all up, the total cost of this distraction is 14% of their time that is being wasted. If we move on to more details of these non-optimal tasks across sales, as well as moving on to pre-construction where project managers, and then construction where superintendents, foremen come into play, you can see this slide highlights the non-optimal tasks that we have vis-a-vis the construction and the AEC industry. So 16.2% of time is being spent on conflict resolution. 15.2 is on mistakes and rework. So the rework is not just the work that they have to do again just to fix issues on the system level, but also the fact that they have to send subcontractors as well as the crew members again to the construction site to fix something that has been built incorrectly. And then third, but not the last one here, is project data and information. So there is no easy way to collaborate effectively. Difficult to find project-related information, again, siloed into different systems, which causes these non-optimal activities to be performed. So this is overall across sales and pre-construction and construction. But if we break it down into more of analytics by construction professionals, then it comes down to 35% from 45% that you saw in the slide before. But you can see here even the breakdown of hours. So you can see 5.5 hours on project data information, looking for that, 4.7 hours on conflict resolution, and 3.9 hours in dealing with mistakes and rework. We believe that BOLDBuild can help you solve these challenges, not just through the sales process, but all the way from pre-construction and into the construction phase. If we try to quantify this in numbers, you can see that here we have the breakdown in annual cost impact per the role of the person. So you can see, for example, pre-construction managers and project managers, it's around 50K that is being wasted. And same is the case with field supervisors. So with that, let me just walk you through how BOLDBuild kind of tries to address some of these things. But before we get to that, so let me just share how BOLDBuild is structured. What we have in BOLDBuild is a bunch of apps, but these are not disjointed, disparate apps. These are all connected. So we have one fabric that connects all these apps together from the information standpoint. And then we have these segments. So for example, we have the analytics layer that goes across. So it will start from your first touch point when you start dealing with as a general contractor or as a subspecialty contractor, or even as a mechanical or any firm in the AEC space. As you start dealing with your customer, we start tracking everything. And our analytics layer can track it from the first touch point all the way to closure of the sales into the pre-construction. And I know that for general contractors, probably pre-construction would be part of that process. But then moving on into the construction, you can have nice reporting that gives you real-time analytics on your projects. And then going forward into the field folks, you can track real-time dailies coming in, your subcontractor hours, your materials, your equipment's on site, everything can be tracked through these analytics across all of the apps. Now, how do we do that? We have a sales app that focuses on the sales module. We have field operations app that allows your foremen, their crew members, and the superintendents, as well as the field admins, to have a flow of information that can go through multiple approval processes. We have the project management app, and we have the accounting app. The accounting is mostly handled through integration with other systems. So we don't have a standalone accounting app. The reason for that is based on our experience within AEC, a lot of companies are already onboarded to their accounting systems. So we have seen Foundation, we have seen SAP, we have seen AX, we have seen GP. And I want you to know that BOLDBuild can connect with all of those accounting systems. So if you break it down into the functional areas like I did, sales would be mostly focusing on the opportunity management side. When we get to project management, which is pre-construction and the construction phase, then you would see that we are going into submittals, we are going into selecting your vendors, generating your responses, RFIs, RFPs, then creating your estimates, proposals, and moving on to the project phase where you'll be able to handle your project. Field service, vendor management, and analytics, we won't be covering in a lot of detail today. Our focus is primarily going to be on sales and project management, so pre-construction and touching upon the project piece of it. But these are the other apps that we have available. I will start with analytics as I get to the demo, and then I'll show you sales and work with Mahmoud to show you pre-construction and project management. So why would we like you to embrace BOLDBuild? So some of the pain points that Nick pointed, and then I kind of build upon those, were focused on lack of productivity and collaboration. So that is the biggest source of concern within the AEC industry, that we don't have systems that would allow for efficient management of data and collaboration. That's exactly what BOLDBuild tries to fix. So what we have done is we have tried to build a system that allows different roles to focus on what's important for them. We have process flows and workflows that streamline and automate these tedious tasks that they have to do. And the idea is that we enable you to access information quickly and based on the role that you have. So you can start with what you need to be successful. What we have seen is that you can save around 2.5 million per year just by saving time on the tasks that I mentioned in terms of the non-optimal tasks. We can eliminate rework. It can be eliminated by 48%, which can be huge. Because we have a robust analytics layer, you can go end to end and give your executives as well as your project managers an oversight of what's going on. And then most importantly, we have one integrated system. I don't want to spend too much time on that, so I will just go directly into the demonstration here. Like I said, from the demo standpoint, we're primarily focusing on sales, and within project management, from the functional area standpoint, pre-construction, and in the end, we'll be touching upon the project side as well. So with that, I am going to log into BOLDBuild. So here, I'm going to start with the dashboards. I want to show you that you see here Dynamics 365, which is the platform that we use for building the BOLDBuild application suite. And as I click on that, you see these are all the applications that we have vis-a-vis BOLDBuild. So we have a sales app, we have a project management app, we have foreman and field admin app, which is part of our field operations. So we won't be covering these two today. And then we also have a vendor qualification, which kind of comes into play in the pre-construction phase that we will be covering today. So right now, I'm logged into the sales app, and I'm going to start with our analytics layer. Click on dashboards, you can see that it starts showing me some of the dashboards that we have in the system. So on your fingertips, you have here all the information related to how you are performing on the lead side. I know that lead management is an area that is by far overlooked within the AEC industry, but it is yet an important area. So you have here all the visibility into how many leads you have by quantity by user, who is your best performer, so you can see at conversion. Everything you see here is clickable, and you can drill down into these things. So as you click here, you see that it kind of limits what you are seeing on the top. But I want to focus also on the opportunity management. So in terms of the opportunities that are being generated in your system, if you want to be able to track how effective your sales team is working on those, we have all these pre-built dashboards that allow you to do that. So for example, you can see here, I'm seeing my loss rate versus win rate for my opportunities. I can click on any of these opportunities right in this dashboard, and it will open up that record for me. So for example, if I click on this rooftop opportunity, it just takes me right onto that record just on that single click. Again, this is only possible because everything is one connected system. So you don't have to go search for that information, find it, and open it up. You can just, right from your dashboard, be effective and get to those details. So if I come back to my dashboard here, I want to focus primarily on the forecasting analysis. The reason I say that is because it's very, very important in the AEC space. The reason it's important is because in this industry, we're used to onboarding contractors who would work on the project, and when the project finishes, obviously they can either move on to another project, or because these are usually contract labor, they are told to go and probably they find other work to work on. It's very important to be able to forecast accurately and bring these contractors on board. So you can see here we have different services. It's a completely configurable system. So whether you as an organization are performing electrical services, solar services, structural services, pure construction services, if you're a GC, we can just configure our system to your needs. And here, for example, if I click on blue, which represents my structural services, you will see that, okay, it's showing me that I have a huge project starting in July that is supposed to finish in August. So based on that, I can go in and I can plan accordingly. I can look at this project. I can look at who is the sales member who has this project. And then I can go into sites and locations, and I can see all the sites that are relevant to this project. At any given point in time, I can enlarge any of these dashboards. I can zoom in, zoom out to see additional details of all the sites that I have against this. I'm going to go back to my report here. And here you can see, I can see the breakdown as well. So if I click on July, these are the 87 sites that are pertinent to that. I can click on this as well, and it will show me the same detail. Now, let's say if I want to look at the detailed breakdown, so you can see in here that it shows me the detailed breakdown of what that number was made up of for structural. And again, I have links here. So I can just quickly click on this, and it will take me to the individual record. But you can see that I have this forecast into the future that is telling me how these numbers were brought up onto my dashboard. So with that overview of analytics, I'm going to walk you through the sales module. So in order to keep it consistent, the lead and the opportunity and the pre-construction construction phase, we are going to follow Robin Smith, who is the CEO of a company which is Jacuma Solar. And the idea is that we are, as a general contractor, we are working with them and we are trying to win this project. Now, the system that we have built, it is not just for general contractors. It's very configurable. If you're a general contractor who has a process that is somewhat different than what you're going to see, know that the system can be configured to start at any stage within your process. What I'm going to show you right now is what we see with some of the subspecialty contractors, as well as some other firms. What they do is that they start with the lead process, and then they have this preliminary estimation, which some of their sales team is doing on their own before they go into the heavy lifting in the pre-construction phase, where the general contractors are coming in and they're finalizing the vendors and the subcontractors. So I'm going to first show you how that preliminary process works. They start on the lead level. You see we have a timeline here. They can create a phone call against this timeline. They can create an email against this timeline. Whatever touch points they have with Robin Smith as the CEO of Jacuma Solar, everything will be tracked in the system. Now, everything is not just tracked if you create it from here. Even if you create an email from your Outlook or your choice of email system, it will automatically bring that in here and show that in this timeline. So you'll always have just one place to go to find all the details related to this lead that you're working on. You can go into the details and you can add additional details in here. All of this is configurable, so we can just add more fields. But most importantly, if I go into the file section, which is a big challenge for construction industry, is that as you upload content here, like I said, finding information is made easier in BOLDBuild. You will see that this information will live throughout the life cycle of whatever we are doing with Jacuma. So with that, I'm going to go into the next stage, and you see I have a process flow, so it's easier for the sales team to follow. When they click on each stage, they know exactly what they're supposed to do. So if I click on the develop stage here, which is the stage I'm sitting at right now, it takes me from the lead level to the opportunity level. And now, as per the process that we have defined, what happens is that the estimation team receives an email, and they are told that they are supposed to come in and add the bid level details or the estimates. So as you can follow on the flow, the form has changed. Now we have multiple tabs. If I go to the sites, I can see which site we would be submitting this estimate for. We can have multiple sites. You can also upload your sites if you are dealing with a big project and you have 100+ sites for that project. You can upload them in an Excel format. But then what happens is that important information, here you add in the service type for which you are providing the service. Now, if you're an organization that provides multiple services, you don't have anything to worry about. Within BOLDBuild, you can add multiple services. So for example, here you can see I've said that for this particular opportunity, we would be providing them a bid for structural services as well as electrical services. So now when the salesperson comes into the bid section, you can see that I already have an awarded bid, which I've created for this demonstration, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a new bid here. So we have multiple processes to create the bid. The first one that I want to highlight is that you can easily go in, and if you have your existing takeoff sheets that you're using for your preliminary estimation, you can just upload them. So we have built this engine that allows you to read from the Excel document. This is done based on the fact that many organizations, they are married to Excels and they don't want to change them. So for example, I'll open up an Excel document here and show you. So this is the estimation document that I'm using as the first example. You can see it has a lot of detail, and then it has these bid upload and the bid detail section. So your team kind of goes in and they go through all of this and they add in their bid details. And once they are done, they come in and they select the site and they choose the file that they want to upload. And it will automatically create a bid here. So it just automatically starts reading from that Excel document. It knows which fields to fetch, and then you don't have to do any double entry. Now, considering the pain points that Nick talked about, you can imagine here, this is a huge benefit because there are two things that we have seen. Either people are not ingesting that data in their system of record at all because it's in Excel and it's too much effort to just type that information in again. Or what they are doing is that they are bringing in just a summary. But here what has happened is that as I have put in this estimation sheet, you can see it has brought in all the detail: revenue, base price, cost, margin, margin percentage. But if I go into bit details here, you will see that it's not just limited to this. We have all the breakdown of this information as well. So you can see I have the materials cost here. If I go into the labor cost, you will see that I have all the labor cost in here. I have all the subcontractor costs in here. So whatever our preliminary estimate costs were in that Excel, it just brings them in. In addition to this, it also has the alternates mentioned in here. So you can see that I have panel installation, and I can select here whether they should be included in my proposal or not. So you can see soil disposal is included, rest or not, but this is totally configurable. I can do that. So this is just one way of adding your bid. Let's say if you say, I don't want to do this in Excel, I would like to use BOLDBuild to actually create my estimates. We can also do that. You just switch that form over, and then we have another form where you can just key in all these details as well in here. And we have built multiple apps that allow you to do it easily, creating your estimates so that they live in one system. So it depends upon your choice. If you're more comfortable and you have been using Excel that has a bunch of formulas that are automated for 10 years, then we can embrace that. We can just bring that in. If you want to build a separate app, then we can do that as well. So now I have my bid in the system. Before I generate my initial proposal, I'll show you, okay, as a sales rep, I'm going to just move on to the next process, which is I want to create my preliminary proposal and send it to this customer. As I go into inclusions and exclusions, you will see that for each service type, we already have templates here. And based on these templates, I already have inclusions, I have exclusions. These are the ones that are going to reflect in my proposal. I can add any additional ones. I can take these away. Whatever stays in here in context of this opportunity will show up in my proposal. So I go back to my opportunity here. Same is the case with scope of work. So I have scope of work listed here for both electrical and structural as well. I can go in and I can make edits to it. So you don't have to do any entry of this information. You don't have to spend time on figuring out how to generate your proposal. And this is your moment of truth. Because you have done the hard work of having everything in one system, which we have kind of made easy for you, this is the benefit that you reap. You just click on this one click, generate proposal button, and it generates a nicely formatted proposal for you that is ready to be sent out to your customers. So it is going to just take a second, generate a proposal, and it is going to add it to the note section right here. If you can see it in the background. So just before this, I also had created a few of the proposals, but if I refresh it, I'll be able to show you the most recent one that it just created. So I come in here and you can see I have a proposal that was just created at 10:28. So if I click on this, it's going to download this, and let me just open this here for you. So you can see I have all the details. In this proposal, I have the details of the customers. It is only going to bring in my active bids in here. So you can see it is bringing those in. If you remember, I had soils disposal set to yes included. So it shows me that as well. It has all of my inclusions, my exclusions, my scope of work. So everything is listed in here. And we can kind of change the template, not just for this document, but rest of the documents that we will show you across BOLDBuild, across all of the stages within your process. So I'm going to close this now. And what I want to do is I want to just award this bid. So I already have one as set as awarded. All you do is you select that and you deactivate it. And then you say, OK, I want to win this. And what happens based on that is that our system automatically makes you go from the opportunity phase into the actual pre-construction. Now, some of you would say, OK, we have already sent the proposal. If the proposal is approved, yes, you can also skip the pre-construction. But because we want to cater to general contractors as well, so usually what happens there is that now they want to go in and they want to formulate their estimation and they want to improve on that. So this is where you can see that we have the pre-construction phase. What I'm going to do for that is I'm going to switch over to my pre-construction app. So I go into project management. And as I go in here, I will, you can see that I'm switching between the sales and the pre-construction app. So in here, when I go to pre-construction, I will be able to see the record that has been created in context of my opportunity, which is that Jacoma solar. So I'll go in here, I'll say, show me newest to older, and you will see that I have here this pre-construction phase lined up. What I have also done is I have pinned these. So I could have opened it up from my pinned records as well. So you can see I can come in here and click on this as well. So this makes it very easy for you to access this information. But I just wanted to show you how we kind of get to this. So now you see my flow has completely changed on the top because I am right now in the pre-construction phase. But the beauty of this is that everything that you had in the opportunity has been carried over. So you don't have to type in this information again. I have the same customer here. I have all the details that I had, like prevailing. It's a state prevailing wage. I have the build square footage information, class. I can add in all this additional information. But more importantly, if I go to the details section here, I see that my estimates have also come across. And in the summary now, I can, in the pre-construction phase, start building my team. So I can go in here and I can select any member who's going to be my superintendent here. So for example, let's say if it's John. I select him. And at any given stage, as I'm building this team, our platform integrates with Microsoft Teams and Office 365. So what does it mean for you from the context of BOLDBuild? So if I go into related and click on Office 365 groups here, you will see that all the team members that I have added to this pre-construction phase, they also get added in here as members. And I can start conversations with them. I can send them messages. I can start adding documents here. They will be able to collaborate on these documents. And on top of all that, I also have a Microsoft Teams here. So if I go in and I say, OK, I want to start collaborating, it is going to open up my Teams. And if I could just quickly show that to you here, I'm going to just drag this in. And you can see right from the sales all the way to pre-construction, I have everything kind of grouped in here as well. So now they can start collaborating. Nick and Mahmoud are both part of this. You can see there is, you can send messages to them. You have the exact same view that you had within BOLDBuild in context of your teams as well. So you can go to post, you can start talking to them, you can click on this link and it will open up your pre-construction phase again. Just within your teams, you have complete view of what's going on and you don't have to go into multiple systems. Everything is connected as one. So with that, I'm going to go back to my pre-construction. what I want to cover before I hand it over to Mahmoud is that you would come in here, and then this is where the process of formalizing your bid starts if you are, say, a general contractor. So let's say if you go in and you start making changes to your bid because you are going into the negotiation stage and starting talking to your vendors and subcontractors, you can always come in and you can create a new bid. And what it does, it automatically changes for you the old bid that had come in from the sales process. So for example, if I go in here and I select this and I'm going to just choose the exact same file for now. So it will do the same process. It will generate a new bid for me, but it is smart enough to know that there was an existing bid for the same site, which it is going to cancel out and create a new one. It's important because most of you already know that in this industry, we have to go through this process back and forth again and again to be able to get to a bid that would work for our owner. So you can come in here now and you will see that it has closed it as internal and I have a new one as open. And now I can start going into the negotiation phase where, as you can see in the process flow, I'm on the negotiation phase as well. And this is where I can start adding my subcontractors that I'll be dealing with. I can start adding my suppliers and so on and so forth. So with that, I'm going to transition it over to Mahmoud. So Nick, if you could please make him presenter, and Mahmoud will walk you through the pre-construction phase, and then I will walk you through the project management phase. And Nick, also please let me know if you have any questions so far.
Yeah, we had one question while it transitions over to Mahmoud. Mahmoud, we got you up and running, but there was a question in regards to creating the estimation / bids, and they saw that it was done in the sales side, but they do it in the pre-construction side. Is that still an option in the pre-construction side?
100%. So that's what I was trying to address as well. Based on how your business is structured, BOLDBuild is configurable. So we can just configure it so that we could do it in the functional module that is relevant to your company.
Perfect. Thank you. And Mahmoud, take it away.
Awesome, thank you. Well, thanks, Tayyip, for the demo. As you know, guys, we are at the pre-construction stage. It's the time to plan for your project. This involving, the estimation teams, it's involving the engineers, involving the supply chain department. So what I will do now is just walk you through some of the processes that we do have in BOLDBuild. This includes document folder structure, proposed subcontractor list, 3D models, submittals, and contract creation, including projects as well as project sites. So when we have the pre-construction record created after awarding a bid, the project folder structure is generated automatically before the project starts. This is, of course, to help you in organizing all project documents. The folders and any document you see under the document section here are stored in SharePoint. So you can, of course, adjust the folder structure template at the pre-construction level. Currently, as you see, we have different folders such as the 3D model, administration folders, insurance plans, and submittals. I already uploaded some documents as well as 3D models under the 3D folder here. So if I go inside this folder, you will see I have 3D models. And also I have some submittals that were given to me by the subcontractors, which I uploaded them here. So we also developed a 3D viewer control to BOLDBuild that allows you to access and view 3D models that adds an element of intelligence to a project. A 3D model can help a team of engineers and designers, as well as project managers, to more accurately plan and understand all elements of construction project. The 3D model itself is done outside of BOLDBuild. However, the output file can be stored and uploaded to the SharePoint through BOLDBuild, which can be exposed to the project owner through Microsoft Portal. As you guys can noted that I already uploaded the 3D models to the folder under the document section, and now I have my 3D models uploaded in here. Now it's time to prepare within the pre-construction record, it's time to prepare, of course, a list of proposed subcontractor and critical product lists that are important enough to be submitted to the project owner, as well as the architect, to be verified and approved. The process of selecting a proposed subcontractor list is done through the vendor qualification app and starts with adding subcontractor service type to the pre-construction record. As you guys saw previously, that I have a subcontractor service type that is added to add it to this pre-construction that carried over from the estimation as well as from the sales stage. And I also do have few products added to the material that carried over from my estimation. Now, in order for me to access the vendor pre-qualification app, I just need to click this button. So I'm just waiting for it to load. Just give it a second here.
And this is loading slow just because it's a sandbox, correct?
That's correct, yes. And I am from home, so I have really slow internet connection. So just bear with me, guys.
I think we can all relate.
Yeah. Awesome. So I have this this screen popped up. As you can see, this app allows you to filter vendors based on predefined filters for different important information related to the vendor, such as organization information, financial data, quality and safety measurement, as well as work history. So you can select whatever values that you would like to filter the accounts. Also, as you can see, I have my materials as well as the service type already predefined and automatically selected for you. If you would like to select different service types, you can click on the all checkbox, and now you can select different service type. If you want to stick with what you have at the pre-construction, you can just keep it as is. And now I will basically refresh the screen, and now I have all my accounts or / vendors populated based on the selected criteria. So now what I will do, I will select one account or one subcontractor, and I will hit save. What this will do for me is basically will create a subcontractor account under the pre-construction record. So now it gives me a message that this is successfully created. So I'm just going to go back all the way to the in negotiation. As you see here, I have one subcontractor listed for me automatically that shows the service type as well as the product that they might be providing. Now, the next step is to send a bid submission invite to this subcontractor, but due to the time limitation, this is not part of the demo today, which you can achieve that through the request for proposal. However, once you send the request for proposal and you receive a response with a proposal from this subcontractor, you can track this information using BOLDBuild. So if I go inside the subcontractor, proposed subcontractor, I can go to the responses and I can create a response related to that proposal. So I give it a name, for example, proposal. And then I will have a different type if it was a request for information response, revision, or a proposal. So in this case, I will add a proposal, and this here I will put the the proposal cost. And of course, these fields are configurable, so you can add as many fields as you like. The expected date of completion, and you can put important date. So now I will save it and close. I will go back to my pre-construction to in negotiation, and now I can see the responses related to the subcontractor. Okay, this screen can be viewed in maximize this screen, so you can view more information related to other subcontractors. I hope you you guys can see a value in this, because qualifying vendors is very important step as a general contractor during the pre-construction stage. Now, what I'm going to move to the submittals, and this is the submittals. So when you are ready to track any pre-construction submittals, you would just need to go to the submittals tab at the top and hit the new submittals. This will allow you to create a submittal, whether it's a submittals generated by the general contractor or a submittal that you will receive from the subcontractors. So I'm going to give it a name here, for example. So I will call it product info. And then what I will do, I will basically select the category of the submittals. It could be a shop drawing, product, samples, quality control, and these we can add as many as you guys like. We selected these as part of the pre-construction submittals. So for this demo, I will basically select the shop drawing, product data, and maybe a certificate as well. So what will happen, any document related to these categories will be combined in one document for you. And then you provide a due date when this need to be sent out. You can provide comment and more description to the submittal itself, the date it's sent, if you're receiving any responses, and you can also track any response related to that submittal, okay? The copies where the submittal is gonna go to. So for example, it could be the owner, subcontractor, general contractor, and also you can include the responsible party who's going to be part of the approval process for these submittals. And at the top also, we have this, a predefined process that show you the creation of the submittal to the preparation of the submittals, the review, and then the final approval. So now I will hit save. And once you're ready to generate your submittal document, you basically need to click on the generate submittal. So now what happens is the system generated submittals document based on these categories. I will go to the submittal attachment, and as you see, once I generate that submittal, it will give you a reference to all the documents involved in generating one document. So if I go now to my pre-construction record, under the document section, I can go to the submittal folders. And now here you see this is the submittal that I created, and the name of the document is the same as the name of the record I created. So if I hit this document, just waiting for it to show up.
Yeah, and while we're waiting for this, we did have a question come in. So whether Tayyab or Mahmoud, you can answer this. It's, can we incorporate or manage pictures within BOLDBuild?
Absolutely, we can.
Yes, that's correct, absolutely. And Tayyab will demo a photo update in the project as well as the site. So as you see, guys, I have related information to the pre-construction, such as the submittals, as well as the utilities. And then I have the documents such as the certificate, product data, and shop drawings. So this document can be customized to your need. This is what we've done so far for BOLDBuild. And now, once you determine how the project contract should be executed and should be created, it's time to create a contract, project, and project site. So as you guys know, we have one estimation record that I have at the pre-construction stage. To create the contract, basically, I would have to select some important information, whether this is a multi-site project, a multi-division project or not, the contract type, if you have a contract or LNTP, and whether you want to create a project and a site or /phase within that contract. So I already created a contract and a project previously for the purpose of this demo, And as you see, I have one contract, one project, and one site. If you have different projects, so you will be able to see 2 or more projects under one contract. If you have more sites, you will be able to see few sites under one project, right? So now I will go to the contract. It's just I have a slow internet, guys. Sorry about that.
Well, we do have another question while we're waiting, and it's, are there any issues if subcontractors don't use BOLDBuild? And
not really. So there is obviously advantage if they are using BOLDBuild, because then you can track their time in near real time as well. But if they are not using it, then you still have their invoices coming into you that you have to pay in your accounting system. So there is no disadvantage as such. It's just that you'll have to obviously review those invoices just like you're doing today. But you can use BOLDBuild for your crew members, for all of your staff and your vendors if your subcontractors are not onboarded on that. But I do want to highlight that the field app is an easiest way for you to track what subcontractors are doing. So as Mahmoud is highlighting, the foreman and the field admin app, it has a module in there for subcontractors where your foremans on site can submit time for your subcontractors. It allows them to sign it right on the mobile device or the tablet, and it converts it into a PDF, and the report is sent out to the subcontractor. And it's also stored in the BOLDBuild system, even if the subcontractors are not onboarded onto the system, so that there could be that comparison. So there are multiple ways we'll be able to help you in managing your subcontractor if they're not using BOLDBuild.
perfect, thank you.
Okay, awesome. So now I am at the contract level. This is the contract between me and the owner, or between a subcontractor and a general contractor, whatever the case might be. It's here where you can set up your contract information. You know, you have the bidding to the end user, some important information dates related to the project, such as the completion date, the estimated construction start date, and the estimated or expected completion date by a client. We also, as you saw, guys, at the pre-construction level, it's a time to build your team. It's time to build, to do all the activities before you do your construction. As you're building your team, this information carried over from the pre-construction into the contract, as well as to the project and to the site. And also I have all my budgets related to this project under the contract. So if you have 2 projects, you will see the budget related to the 2 projects in one place under this contract. Also, any change order related to any project will show up at the contract level, and then you can measure the performance of the project. In this scenario, we have only one project. That's why you see one control. I don't have any actuals related to this project, so that's why it's at 0. But as you start, creating timesheets, doing purchase orders, invoices, receipts, all of that, this actual will obviously increase. Right. Also within the contract, you can add any liquidated damages to the contract, as well as if you have contracts with subcontractors, you can create these subcontractor contracts and attach them to the main contract. All right. So with that, this completes the pre-construction phase of the demo. Now I will pass it on to Tayyib to do the demo for the project as well as the site. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mahmoud. Nick, if you could please make me presenter.
You got it. Give me 1 second here, and you are live.
All right, awesome. Please do let me know when you guys can see my screen.
All right, we got it.
All right, perfect. So now I'm going to walk you through the project. We have 8 minutes, so we'll keep it short. But one thing that I do want to show you in pre-construction is we also have this project management tool, which is the Gantt chart that I know all of you love. The project manager, so you have that in here. You can manage your task right in there. We've also integrated with Microsoft Project Online. So if you are using that, it will automatically bring in your projects from there. And we know some of you out there love Wrike, so we also have integrated with Wrike. So some of that functionality that you see here as well. So you won't have to, again, double entry you will just be able to click this button and bring in all the information from Microsoft Project Online as well as Wrike. So with that, I'm going to open up the project that is created as part of this. And as Mahmoud was saying, that you can have a contract that can have multiple projects, and a project can have multiple sites. So on this project, you can see it brings down my site in here, so I can see the site. It carries over my project team. What it also does is that it creates a budget based on my estimate. So now I see all of the estimated cost for customer as well as the original budget showing up in here. And we also talked about the fact that we have dailies and time entries. So this is what integrates with our field operation apps. So as soon as our project is live, our crew members who start working on the site, they can start putting in their dailies. And as they put in their dailies, all of their daily time becomes available here in real time, which is huge because traditionally you would have to wait for them to submit. It will go into your accounting system or whichever system you have and then become available for project managers. But in our system, it's just one integrated application suite, so everything is real time. You can see their individual time entries as well. Our platform also creates and converts their entries into overtime, double time, breaks, meal breaks. All of that is done for you in here as well. You can also track your equipment on site through these apps that I showed you. One thing I want to show you is the photo gallery because somebody asked that question. So through our field apps, you can also go in and you can upload images. So as you're on site, and you can then just view those images here. So you can see I can enlarge this image. If I had like hundreds of images here, I'll be able to go through them as well. So for example, if I open up this photo gallery, I can just go through all the images that I have against this site. So if I go in, I can walk through them quickly. So it kind of allows you to stay on top of things. But one thing we promised as we were talking about the challenges were the ability to be able to do change orders. So we have also tried to make that very easy. So the original estimate that came in for this other labor, for example, cost was 4,762. So you can see that, sorry, 3,762. But you see the revised one is 4,762. So the reason that is because as Mahmoud was demoing, I created this change order for you. So if I go into this change order, I'll show you how easy it is for you to be able to track this. So you go in here, you create the change order record, and then you go into the change order details, and you can just go in and select your cost code, your cost class, and say, okay, what's the impact for the change that has happened? And it just reflects that. And as soon as you create that, it automatically reflects it in the budget that you have against this contract and the project. You can create change orders on a site level. You can create change orders on the project level. So it allows you that flexibility to be able to have that multi-contract, multi-project, multi-site execution of your project. We again have a flow here as well, which will guide your project managers throughout the execution of this. And again, the same collaboration I showed you, you can access your teams, your project team can collaborate, you can have your project team tasks here, you can still go to the Gantt chart and see all of those details in here as well. So with that, I'm going to come back to my slide deck, and I will go to the next slide, which is Q&A. So Nick, do you have any additional question and answers?
It doesn't look like there's any additional questions.
All right, then I'll hand it over to you, Nick.
All right, great. Thank you both for showing all this. And we'll try to wrap this up real quick. Our next steps, we do have a free trial available on Microsoft's App Source. So if any of you do have Dynamics licenses already, you can get going there and try it out for 2 weeks. And please let us know if you do decide to try it out, as we would be happy to walk you through the initial steps and get you comfortable with the app, as well as set you up with some data so you can really mess around with it. And if you like it after that and think it's something you want to adopt, we can offer you a free assessment where we can take a look at your processes and your accounting platform and map out the best route for your success. For those of you who don't have a Dynamics license already, but still want to check out BOLDBuild, please just shoot me a quick email after this is all done and I can help you get you started there. Either way, we will be sending out a recording of this webinar in a little bit, and I'll touch base with each of you individually, or at least one of us will, and we'll address any questions that may come up that we weren't able to address during the webinar. So, Tab, if you don't mind making the next slide pop up so everybody gets our contact info.
Sure.
And everybody, thank you so much for attending today. We appreciate you spending some time with us.